Our brain is nothing short of a magic machine. It processes thousands of signals every second, makes decisions, creates memories, and helps us move forward. But this book, Ignite, Unlock Your Brain's True Potential, begins with a very simple and powerful idea. Our attention and focus determine which parts of the brain will get stronger and which will slowly fade away. Now think about this. Just like in the gym, the muscles we exercise daily get stronger. Similarly, our brain does the same thing. The thoughts, emotions, or habits we repeatedly focus on strengthen our brain circuits, and the things we don't pay attention to, those circuits start to weaken. This means that if we repeatedly engage in negative thoughts like, I can't do this, I'm good for nothing, everything is useless, our brain also adapts the same pattern. Then those words become our habits and we slowly begin to limit ourselves. But imagine if we shift our focus to positive things, learning or improvement, those very brain circuits will develop that will make us strong and capable. Here the author gives us a powerful message. Use your attention wisely. When you focus on a task, you are telling your brain that this is important, and the brain begins to rewire itself accordingly. Every time we learn something new, try a new skill, or face a challenge, our brain forms new connections. This is called neuroplasticity. That is, the brain's ability to change and grow. Now think for a moment. Where do we spend our attention all day? Scrolling on social media, getting lost in negativity, wasting time gossiping or complaining. All these things mold our brain in that direction. And slowly, we also notice that our energy is decreasing and motivation is dwindling. But this same attention we can direct towards improvement. Imagine, every day you spend a little time on tasks that teach you something new, challenge your abilities, and make you feel a little uncomfortable. For example, learning a new skill, reading a book, thinking about a good subject, or meditating. These things slowly activate the improvement zones of your brain. It's like you have lit a fire inside you, an ignite, and that fire slowly pushes you to go beyond your limits, break out of your comfort zone, and become the person you are meant to be. Another interesting point the author makes is that the brain has limited energy. That is, out of all the things we focus on every day, only some of them shape our future. The rest are just distractions. So we have to choose where we will use our mental energy. When we consciously decide that today I will give my attention to this task because it will move me forward, from that very moment we begin to change our brain's wiring. This is not some overnight magic, but it is a conscious choice that has to be made every day. The author gives another example. Suppose your brain is a garden. Your attention, your thoughts work to plant seeds in that garden. If you repeatedly plant seeds of fear, doubt, and jealousy, those plants will grow. But if you plant seeds of belief, hope, hard work, and gratitude, that is what will grow in your life. And watering them, that is nourishing them with daily attention, is your daily focus. Now a question arises here. If we learn to use our attention correctly, can we use our brain like a superpower? The answer is absolutely, because when we understand the powers of our brain and consciously start using them, we can take ourselves to a level we never thought possible. This is the main philosophy of Ignite. Recognize the fire within you and give it the right direction. Imagine if you wake up every morning and decide that today I will give my time and attention to my goals. Today I will explore a new idea. Today I will stay away from distractions. How sharp, clear, and powerful your brain will become after 1 month, 1 year. It's also important to understand here that attention is not just concentration. It's a habit, a daily practice. All our brains tend to wander repeatedly, but as soon as we bring it back to the right direction, we build discipline within us. And this discipline shapes our identity. Maybe you are thinking that it's not so easy, but that's the real point. It's not easy, but it is possible. When you start protecting your attention like a soldier protecting his camp, you slowly learn to control distractions. You yourself begin to decide which thoughts your brain will spend time on and which it will ignore. Now, what does this mean in real life? It means that whenever a problem comes, instead of overthinking or blaming, you think about a solution. Whenever someone hurts you, instead of reacting, reflect on yourself. Whenever your mind feels frustrated, remind yourself that this feeling is temporary and it's small compared to your bigger goals. All this is possible only when you are the driver of your mind. You don't let it run on autopilot. Ignite teaches us that every person has a potential, a light inside, but it has to be ignited. And that light only shines when we consciously direct our attention. And the most special thing is, when you correctly ignite your brain, you don't just improve yourself, but you also inspire others. Your energy, your vision, your dedication also motivates others. Your success starts a chain reaction. So, the next time you think about how to move forward, first think about where your attention is going. Is it building your future or being wasted? Your attention is your greatest power. Don't let it get lost in small things. Every day ask your brain this question: where will I use my mental energy today? And as you keep asking this question and acting according to the answer, your brain will truly start to transform. Because the truth is, what you focus on grows. And the first and most important lesson of Ignite is this: choose your attention consciously. Only then can you bring out the fire hidden within you and become the person you are born to be. Start today with a simple choice. Give your attention to the things that will make you better. Slowly you will see for yourself that your brain, your habits, and your entire life are beginning to change. This is the real power of Ignite.
Understanding the human brain is like trying to understand the functionality of a very complex and intelligent machine. In the book Ignite, Unlock Your Brain's True Potential, the author presents a very interesting and powerful concept, the Ignite Circle. It's not a magical symbol, but a real and practical way through which we can bring about lasting changes in our brain. And the special thing is, this method is not for some scientist or a monk. It is for every person who wants to take their brain to the next level. The author says that brain change is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process that involves many stages, and it's easy to understand these stages as a circle. He has named this circle the Ignite Circle. This Ignite Circle has a total of 5 stages: reflection, ignition, repetition, recovery, and integration. Now let's explore these 5 stages one by one in simple language and with relevant examples. The first stage is reflection. This is the step where everything begins. When you try to learn or change something new, first and foremost, you have to observe yourself. You have to look at your thoughts, emotions, habits, and reactions without judgment. Reflection means looking at your mind with a mirror. In this, we ask the question, what am I thinking? How do I behave? In which thought patterns do I get stuck repeatedly? This stage helps us develop self-awareness. Just like an artist observes the canvas before painting, we also have to observe the canvas of our brain. From reflection, we get clarity on what we need to change, why we need to change, and what is stopping us. Then comes the second stage, ignition. When we know what we need to change or learn, we have to ignite our brain. That is, give it a new challenge. Try something new. Do something that activates our brain. This ignition excites our nervous system and prepares it to create new circuits. The ignition can be reading a new book, thinking about a new topic, learning a new skill, or embracing an uncomfortable situation. This is the moment when our brain becomes alert and says, "Oh, something new is happening here." After ignition comes the third stage, repetition. Now, the brain remembers new things only when they are done repeatedly. Learning a new concept once is just the beginning, but repeating it again and again, practicing it, making it a part of your daily routine, this is the real game changer. Repetition means emphasizing it again and again. Just like a child learns to walk, falls, gets up, and tries again. Similarly, when we develop a new habit or mindset, we have to repeat it again and again. Only then do the brain's circuits get stronger. This stage can also feel a bit boring, but this is the place where the real change begins. This repetition teaches us consistency, teaches us discipline, and after a while, it becomes a part of our identity. But one thing is very important. A break is needed between each repetition, and this is where the fourth stage comes in, recovery. This stage is ignored by many people, but it is the most necessary stage. Recovery means giving your brain rest, recharging, and allowing for internal healing. When we constantly put pressure on the brain, it can burn out. But when we give it space through sleep, meditation, silence, and general relaxation, it repairs itself. Without recovery, no growth is sustainable. Recovery is like when we give a seed sunlight and water and then let it rest in the soil so that it can spread its roots. Similarly, the brain also needs a quiet space so that it can establish new circuits. And then comes the last stage of the ignite circle. By now, you have observed, learned, practiced, and absorbed everything, and now you have to integrate it into your life naturally. Integration means that new thought now becomes your default thought. That new behavior now becomes your automatic response. When a new habit or mindset reaches the integration stage, you use it effortlessly. It is now a part of your system. Just like you don't have to remember how to ride a bicycle once you've learned it, you just ride it. Similarly, when a new thought pattern is integrated, it becomes your identity. Integration means living the learning, not just understanding it. In this stage, your personality matures. You feel inner peace and your self-confidence increases because you have now become an improved version of yourself. Now, think how these 5 stages are connected in a circle. When integration is complete, you start reflecting on something new again, and that again is the beginning of the ignite circle. That is, it is an endless cycle that gives you a new depth, making you better and sharper every time. If we connect this entire process to real life, suppose you decided that you need to learn to speak in public, then first of all, you reflect on what your current weakness is. You get nervous. You lack self-confidence. Then you ignite. You listen to a speech. You try to go on stage. Then you repeat. You give a speech repeatedly. You practice. Then you take a recovery. You understand your fear. You relax. You don't criticize yourself. And then that art gets integrated into your life. You start speaking confidently without thinking. This is the real magic of the Ignite Circle. It teaches us that any change comes from a proper process, not just from inspiration. And the most powerful thing about this entire model is that it can be applied in any field, whether it's emotional healing, changing physical habits, any mental block, or career improvement. Wherever you feel stuck, this circle can be a roadmap. Sometimes people think that brain change is very difficult, but when you start looking at it in stages, you realize that it is completely possible. All that is needed is awareness, patience, and moving forward little by little every day. Many people only rely on inspiration, but inspiration is temporary. This circle gives a system, a rhythm through which every person can ignite their brain and transform it. And those who use this circle repeatedly bring about sustainable and meaningful changes in their lives. So now it's up to you. Will you just understand this circle and let it go? Or will you ignite it in your mind and make a new start? Remember, every time you consciously choose your thoughts, habits, and energy, you are upgrading your brain. And this is the real ignition.
We all feel stuck at some point in our lives. It feels like we are repeating the same things, making the same mistakes, and our progress has stopped somewhere. We think that maybe we have bad luck or we can't see a way forward. But the truth is that many times we ourselves become our biggest obstacle, and we don't even know it. This is where the third point of Ignite, unlock your brain's true potential, comes in, which tells us that every change begins with a simple but powerful step: reflection. Reflection means understanding oneself, talking to oneself honestly. It is not a philosophy, it is a process. And the author says that the best way to start this process is with focused journaling and self-questioning. That is, we bring the thoughts floating in our mind and heart onto paper, clear them, and try to see what things are stopping us. Now imagine you started giving yourself just 10 to 15 minutes every day, where you pick up a pen and write in a journal, what did I think today? What bothered me the most? Am I getting stuck in a pattern repeatedly? Is there a habit that is hindering my growth? What do I want to be aware of today? These questions seem very simple, but when you give honest answers to them, your brain starts to wake up. Focused journaling is not like writing a diary where you just describe the day's events. It is a concentrated tool where you directly question yourself and examine yourself to see what mindset you are living in. It's like you are holding a mirror to your own brain and peeking inside. The author makes a very interesting point here. Until we recognize our limiting patterns, we cannot break them. Many people get stuck in life for this reason, because they never stop and think, why do I procrastinate repeatedly? Why do I feel self-doubt every time? Why do I back away after getting so close to my goals? These patterns are hidden in our daily behavior, but they are only visible when we observe ourselves attentively. And this is what happens in reflection. Reflection takes you to that place from where your real change begins. You don't just see your external results, but you also start decoding your internal reactions, beliefs, and fears. The author suggests that choose one topic for your daily journaling session. For example, today I will explore my emotions. Today I will catch the pattern that repeatedly leads me to failures. Today I will focus on my strengths, not just my weaknesses. Today I will think about what goals I want to set consciously. When we repeatedly interact with ourselves in this way, our subconscious mind begins to clear up. We understand our thought patterns. We slowly start to realize that some beliefs have held us back for years. For example, I'm not a good speaker. I get angry easily. I can never be consistent. People don't take me seriously. These beliefs are not true. They are just thought patterns created from old experiences which need to be challenged. In reflection, we bring those patterns onto paper and see them, and only then can we change them. Imagine you find out that you get panicked before every exam because some mistake from your childhood is being repeated in your mind. Then now you can catch that root cause and heal it. This is the power of reflection. And a second powerful thing happens here: setting intentions. When you recognize your limiting patterns, you have the opportunity to decide, what do I want now? In which direction do I want to improve now? Intention is not a vague desire, like I want to be happy. It is a clear and committed decision. When you set an intention after reflection, you give your mind a new direction. You tell yourself, now I am freeing myself from this belief. Now I will spend my energy on this habit. Now I want to give myself discipline every day. These small declarations help your brain to reconnect. One thing that many people ignore: reflection is not always a way to get perfect answers. Many times you will feel confused while writing a journal. Many times you will not get clarity. Many times you will also feel uncomfortable from your thoughts. But this discomfort is the first signal of growth. Reflection is not a race. It is a journey, and you have to be patient on this journey. Your brain slowly opens up, builds trust, and then starts showing you deep truths. And when you make this process a daily habit, you feel that your reactions, decision-making, and focus have become much better than before. The author says that focused journaling is your personal gym, where you train the muscles of your mind, and self-questioning is your daily coach, which gives you feedback on where improvement is needed. If you have these two tools and you use them every day, your brain circuits slowly start to transform. Now let's understand this whole process by connecting it to real life. Suppose you feel that every time you start a task, you leave it halfway. So one day you sit and journal. Which task did I leave halfway last time? How did I feel at that time? Was I under pressure or was I bored? Has this pattern come before? If I want to change this habit, what will be my intention? With just these questions, you will reach the root cause that you had been ignoring until now. Then you can decide that now I will only quit after completing every small task. Now I will spend 10 minutes on that task every day, whether I feel like it or not. Now I will not give up on my commitment even in times of boredom. This clarity does not come just by thinking. It comes from reflection. Reflection also helps you understand your mental blueprint. You understand that in what situations you get excited, what words make you defensive, and in front of what people you shrink yourself. When you observe all this, you have the option that how do I need to react now?
And the most beautiful thing is that when you connect with yourself every day through writing, through questions, a voice awakens inside you that says, you can change. That inner voice slowly starts to get stronger, and that becomes your guide. This is why whenever you want to change something in yourself, change a thought, improve a behavior, or want mental energy for a goal, always start with reflection. It is your first step, your foundation, and when it is strong, any building can be built on it. So start from tomorrow morning. Take a notebook, pick up a pen, and ask yourself, what am I feeling today? Is any thought repeatedly come into my mind? Which old belief do I want to let go of today? What is my intention for today? Doing this every day will make you the master of your mind, and this is the first and most urgent step of Ignite to recognize the fire within you and direct it in the right direction. Clarity comes from reflection. Power comes from clarity, and change happens from power. Just take one step and see how much you can change yourself. Our brain is a very intelligent and adaptable machine. But one special thing about it is, it grows only when we challenge it. When we repeat the same old things, follow the same routine, and live in the same comfortable zone every day, the brain just runs on autopilot. But when we try something new, have a new experience, or engage ourselves in a difficult task, the brain gets activated and creates new neural connections. In the book, Ignite, Unlock Your Brain's True Potential, this concept is called ignition. That is, waking up the brain, putting pressure on it so that it starts to reconnect itself. Ignition is not a heavy word. Its meaning is very simple. Giving your brain experiences that are new, a bit challenging, a bit unexpected. These things surprise our brain and bring it to an alert state. Whenever the brain bumps into something new, it focuses on it, spends energy on it, and starts to adapt itself to that situation. This is the moment when new learning begins. Think about when you listen to a new language for the first time, or travel to another city alone for the first time, or speak on a stage for the first time. Almost every part of your brain gets activated at that moment. Your mind is alert, your senses get sharp, and you enter a completely new zone. This feeling of unfamiliarity, that is ignition. Ignition is not limited to just adventure sports or thrilling activities. It can happen in any field, such as joining a new course, facing your fears, speaking in public, learning a new skill, or adopting a new habit. The more you go outside your comfort zone, the more your brain develops. The author says that when we think the same thoughts and do the same things repeatedly, the brain's connections also become static. But as soon as we try something new, the brain gets a new signal. Something different is happening, and it starts to create new circuits. This process is called neuroplasticity in neuroscience. That is, a brain can rewire itself if it is ignited correctly. Now imagine if a person lives in the same pattern for years, the same job, the same routine, the same mindset, then their brain's activity also gets stuck in that pattern. But as soon as they try something new, like learning to play the guitar, volunteering at an NGO, or facing a fear, their brain wakes up and says, Okay, now it's time to do something new. Ignition is like a spark that does the work of lighting the brain's fire. But for this, it is necessary that we embrace a little discomfort because learning something new is never easy. When you go into an unknown situation, it is natural for nerves, confusion, and resistance to come. But the learning is hidden within this process. To understand this point, let's take a simple example. Suppose you decide that from now on, you will wake up early in the morning and exercise. The first day will be very difficult. You will feel sleepy, your body will be tired, and your mind will give excuses. But as soon as you push through that resistance, get ready and exercise, you have ignited your brain. Now it begins to understand that this is a new pattern, and slowly it starts to create new circuits for that routine. After a week, that task starts to feel easy, and after some time, it becomes an automatic habit. Ignition does not happen only on a physical level, it also happens on a mental and emotional level. When you get into an uncomfortable conversation, face an old argument, forgive a friend, or accept an insecurity within yourself, your brain is also having a new experience, and by facing that discomfort, you are giving strength to your mind. One special thing here is that ignition removes boredom. Often we feel dull or frustrated in life because there is no excitement in our day. But as soon as we add something new to our day, whether it's 10 minutes of meditation, reading a new book, or talking to a new person, we feel that energy is coming back inside us. This energy comes from brain ignition. The author says that ignition is like a fuel, but this fuel works only when we ask ourselves, what can I do outside my comfort zone today? What new challenge can I give my brain today? Can I do something that I am afraid of, but which will improve me? These questions awaken curiosity within us, and curiosity, that is, inquiry, is the greatest power of the brain. Ignition has another advantage. It increases your creativity. When you see new things, think new thoughts, meet new people, you come out of your old thought patterns. You can look at things from a new perspective. This not only expands your brain, but your way of thinking also widens. Creativity only comes when we let go of old ideas and open our mind to new possibilities. And the biggest thing is, ignition also increases your self-confidence. When you complete a challenging task, your brain sends a signal, I was able to do this. These small victories strengthen your identity. Every time you try something new, you give yourself a new proof that I am capable, I can learn, I can overcome fear. This belief is the real self-confidence. Now, if you want to apply this entire ignition process in real life, the beginning can be made in a very simple way. Read or learn one new thing every day. A quote, an article, a TED Talk. Once a week, walk on a new path, go to a new cafe, talk to a stranger. Make a list of your fears and work on them, slowly, step by step. Give your mind a new direction. Write a poem, draw, listen to a song you've never heard before. Take up an activity that is challenging for you, such as taking a cold shower, waking up early, or traveling alone.
With these small things, you can ignite your brain every day. And when this ignition happens every day, a spark ignites inside the brain that takes you from boredom, from autopilot, and from a reactive life to an active life. Ignition connects you with yourself, with your hidden potential, with your strengths, with your passions. It reminds you every day that you haven't stopped yet. More growth is possible within you. All that is needed is to put a little pressure on your mind again and again. Sometimes you will fail, you will feel uncomfortable, resistance will come, but this is the sign that you are going in the right direction. Because whenever something new is given to the brain, it first gets a little scared, then it fights, and then it accepts it. This is the normal process of the brain, and this is the biggest philosophy of Ignite. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, ask yourself one question. How can I ignite my brain today? And then don't let go of the first idea that comes, work on it, because your brain only changes when you take it out of the comfort zone. Ignition is not a luxury, it is a necessity if you want to keep your mind awake, alert, and alive. And this ignition is the next spark of that fire which is going to awaken the real power within you.
When we learn something new or try to change our thoughts, our brain reacts just as it does when building muscles in the gym. But brain workouts are a bit different. In them, repetition, that is, doing something repeatedly, plays the biggest role. This repetition strengthens our thought patterns and creates new neural pathways in the brain, which we can maintain for the long term. Imagine, you decided that from now on, you will write a gratitude journal every morning. The first day you thought a bit. It felt difficult because it was not a habit. The second day you wrote again. And slowly, when you made it a part of your daily routine, your brain itself started to recognize this activity. This is the magic of repetition, repeating a small task again and again so that it becomes a part of you. We also call these micro actions because they are very small steps, but their effect is very deep. So friends, this was the summary of our book today. Do let us know how you liked it by commenting, and thank you for listening to the summary till the end.